Hi, babe. Welcome to the Horror Babe Show. I'm your host, Chelsea Beller. For those of you watching as well as listening, I'll give you two guesses what movies we're talking about today. It's not anything to do with my hair. I don't know why you said anything. Okay, it is. I feel like I did a pretty good job. Listen, minus the bangs, because I have curly hair. And when I straighten it, it becomes like 2 inches longer. So like I'll be doing a lot of the emo sweep during this recording, but you know what? It's all for whatever the hell this is. I could be Winona Ryder. Why no forever? About a year ago, I went to an advanced screening of Beetlejuice. I had a grand time. I was surrounded by Beetlejuice and Tim Burton fans. How could you not have a good time? Like, surrounded by people who are dressed in black and white pinstripes and the crazy hair and like the whole thing. I truly didn't have any expectations. I just went in to see a Tim Burton film. Like you do. I left the theater with a smile on my face, but as time went on, I found I had a number of questions. So I didn't do a review then because I wasn't sure if that version that I watched at the advanced screening was going to be the version that would eventually come to theaters. But now I recently had the opportunity to rewatch Beetlejuice from 1988 and Beetlejuice of this year, which is available on HBO Max or whatever the hell it's called. So let's review Beetlejuice. Oh God. The moments I catch myself in the camera, I'm like, I do kind of look like her. A little bit. I mean, that's exciting for me. There will be spoilers. Please be advised. Firstly, we all know the story of the original Beetlejuice starring Alec Baldwin, Geena Davis, Catherine O'Hara, Winona Ryder, and Michael Keaton. Newlyweds move into a house, die of a tragic accident, don't know they're dead, find out they're dead and a new family is living in their house. They try everything they can to get the family out of their house to no avail. After several failed attempts, they elicit the help of one Beetlejuice. But this does not deter the family whatsoever, and they decide to cohabitate peacefully. The end. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, easy to follow. 36 years later. 36. I didn't fully grasp that concept. 36 years later. 36 years later, a much more complicated series of events occurs. Lydia Deetz has her own show where she communes with the dead, and she's in a relationship with her manager, Rory, played by Justin Theroux. Lydia's dad dies, so she has to go back to the Winter River house that we all know and love and plan the funeral and pack up the house. Lydia harangues her daughter, Astrid, played by Jenna Ortega, to come and join them in Winter River. Astrid meets a new boy in town who offers her the opportunity to stay with him anytime her mother drives her crazy, which is all the time. Meanwhile, Beetlejuice's ex, Delores, played by Monica Belluci, is on the loose in the netherworld, looking for him, looking to suck out his soul. At the funeral of Lydia's dad, her boyfriend and manager, Rory, proposes to her to be wed in 2 days on Halloween night at midnight. Astrid, fed up, goes to see her friend in town, Jeremy, played by Arthur Conti, but it turns out he's a ghost. And the whole "my mother is crazy because she thinks she sees ghost" thing goes up in flames because she can also see ghosts. And she kisses him. Let that be a lesson. Her ghost friend Jeremy swears he found a way to come back to life so they can be together. He found this handbook for the recently deceased, and there's some kind of cure in there for this whole dead thing. He also promises that she can see her dead father again. So it's a win-win-win all around. Kudos to Jeremy. What a guy. She agrees and they go through the portal to the netherworld. In the meantime, Lydia has found out this boy's a ghost and she tries to stop the whole thing from happening, but to no avail. Turns out this guy is not as sweet and innocent as he appears, or not appears, because he's a ghost. He killed his parents. He killed his parents and then he died. So he's dead, but he's a murderer. So Lydia, fearing for her daughter's life, beckons the one with a devilish charm and good looks, Beetlejuice, to help her. Of course, this is a quid pro quo situation for Beetlejuice because he will help her only if she marries him. Of course. In the hopes that this will get Monica Belluci off his tail. We'll see. She agrees. They go on a goose chase through the netherworld. Jeremy goes straight to hell. Astrid is alive and well. I rhymed. Well, now for the wedding. Rory and Lydia's wedding. Beetlejuice crashes the wedding. A whole song and dance sequence occurs. They get rid of Rory and Delores in one fell sandworm swoop. In the end, Lydia does not have to marry Rory or Beetlejuice, and Lydia Deetz and Astrid Deetz reconcile as mother and daughter. The end! When I wrote the summaries of both of these movies, the second one is longer, like by a lot. I went from being pretty thrilled about the film, honestly, to then being disappointed by the constant smattering of throwbacks to the original film. Now I'm pretty solidly in the middle there. I loved the original Beetlejuice. I absolutely loved it. It is pure, wacky creativity from the macabre 1980s. It's Tim Burton. It's original Tim Burton that if you're around my age, you grew up with. Like, it's the Tim Burton we know and love. And this movie brings a lot of Tim Burton energy to it. It's fun, it's ridiculous, it's full of song and dance and dream sequences. It's a wild ride, for sure. I just think they could have simplified it. I felt like Tim was so excited to do this film, and we're going to bring everybody back, and we're going to go back to Vermont. It's going to be great. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. He was so excited that he kept adding to the list of things that they were going to add, that then it just became overcomplicated, and there were too many plots. Too many plots, too many characters, too many things going on. Like, yes, we want the sandworms, but it's the sand plot, the subplots that we don't necessarily need. In the beginning of the film, the way that she's introduced, it feels like Monica Bellucci's character Delores is going to be a major player in the story. Like, maybe not the main plot, but like a subplot, like B plot, C plot, something. But it felt more like she was E plot, or an F, which, if you're not familiar with script writing, basically you have the main plot, right? But every film and TV show has more than just one plot going on, or they should, to retain the audience's engagement. And so you have, Ross and Rachel are doing one thing while Joey and Phoebe are doing another, right? So you want to have a B plot or a C plot even, but you don't always need more than that. And it becomes more complicated, and you start to lose the audience with that many subplots. And also the subplots then lose their importance. They lose their significance to the overarching storyline. So by the end of the film, I was wondering, really, what was the point of Dolores' character at all? And honestly, it just felt like she was an explanation for that severed ring finger that Beetlejuice pulls out of his coat pocket at the end of the first movie. But we didn't need a whole subplot to explain that, right? If anything, she could have been a passing character, like one of the Bobs were. The Bobs weren't really any kind of subplot, but they were there and they were noticeable and they were very, very entertaining. But she could have been something like that, where you see her, you go, oh, that explains that little thing that we saw 36 years ago. And now I've heard talk about Lydia Deetz's hair, how it stayed the same style 36 years later. You know what? I don't care. I don't give a shit. It's a great hairstyle. If you think about it this way, I mean, you could justify it any way you want, really, whether it's a great hairstyle and some people never change their hairstyles because they like the way their hair looks, or in my opinion, it's a Tim Burton film. Tim Burton films, to me, are basically animated films come to life when they're, with live people. Animated characters always have signature hairstyles. And so I just kind of feel like that's who she is. Like, that's her character. That's Lydia Deetz. She has that hair. Just the same way that Beetlejuice has his hair, and, the same way every Morticia Addams has her same hairstyle. Like, some of these things just never change. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Plus, I think this hairstyle looks really good on me, if I'm being honest. I would just have to cut my bangs. All in all, I had a grand time rewatching it. I will still always love the first one. I will still love the first one for as long as I live, and after that. But I commend the sequel. It's very Burton, with the props, the physical effects, the visual effects, the costume, the makeups, the Michael Keaton, the grandiose of it all. It's also very sequel-y in its pandering and remember, but it's been 36 years, man. We kind of need to remember. Like, oh yeah, remember that, yeah. No, did Lydia Deetz have to don the red fluffy wedding dress again? No. But does it make you happy when you see it? It makes me happy. I think she looks beautiful in it. And damn it, audiences love that shit. Oof, rating time. I don't know. I want to say a 4, but that feels a little too high, because I did feel the writing could have been improved a lot. I felt there were just too many things going on. Baby Beetlejuice was funny, though. I give it a 3.5. I don't do 0.25, 0.75, but I would give it a 3.75 if I did. Which it's my channel, so I can do whatever I want. I could give it a 3.67 if I wanted. So it gets a 3.67 because fuck it. And Michael Keaton, you can't beat that. Well, before I go buy a ghost house in Connecticut, here's a spooky reminder. You can support the show with a one-time donation at buymeacoffee.com, link below, or a $5 membership to my Patreon. I also currently have 2 tiers of my Patreon membership, so you can be a free member or a $5 member, whatever works for you. Also, I'm toying with the idea of starting a new segment where I read ghost stories aloud, as well as interviewing friends and foes about their ghost stories. So, email me your spooks at horrorbabeshow@gmail.com. Thanks, babe. Well, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, follow, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Letterboxd to see what I'm watching and what I'm rating. Bye, babe. Dang it. We're just gonna have bloopers at the end of this episode of me fixing my bangs. Oh, it got right in my eye. Hold on. See, I used to think that I couldn't be goth because I equated being goth to being emo, not the same thing. And I couldn't be emo because I didn't feel like I had the look. Right now, I feel like I have the look a little bit, especially because I keep doing this. God, I can kind of see now. I look just like her. It's uncanny. Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice!